In this video, we're having a look at part 1 of our little useful features within Word. Within Word, there are lots of features that are useful, however some of them are quite small and they can be overlooked. In part 1, we are going to have a look at 3 options, and then in part 2, we're going to have a look at 2 more. The first option we are going to have a look at is the increase and decrease font size buttons. These 2 buttons just to the right hand side of the font drop down option on the Home tab. Now most people do use this font size drop down option, which is fine. However, of course, there is the buttons just to the right which you can use as well. I'm going to select some text and just demonstrate what they do. By clicking on this button, you can see that it is increasing and decreasing the font size. What it does essentially is go up and down this list you can see here. This option using these 2 buttons can just sometimes be a little bit quicker than clicking on the drop down arrow and selecting the font. You can just with a couple of clicks increase it or decrease it. You may have also noticed that this option is also available when you highlight the text on this mini toolbar. These buttons, same again, work the same way by increasing and decreasing the font size. So that's one little feature within Word. A second one is the change case button. Going back many years, a lot of you may have accidentally hit the caps lock key when you were typing and then realised after looking up that you've typed a whole paragraph in capital letters. At this point, unfortunately, there wasn't really much you could do. You just had to type it all again and delete the paragraph that was all capital letters. However, within the last few years or so, they have added in a change case button on the Home tab. So just the right hand side of those 2 buttons we looked at previously is the change case button. This is very useful because it allows you to very quickly change your text from a particular case to another. So if, for example, we had typed this all in capital letters by accident, as you can see, change case button allows you to choose the option you want to change it to. There are quite a few you can choose from. Probably a common one that would be used would be sentence case, as that will just capitalise each first letter. You then of course would have to go through your document. For example, in this particular bit I've selected the citations, the names in the citations would then have to have the first letter changed, of course, to a capital letter. But this change case button is very useful and it can save you a lot of time. Finally, the last option we are having a look at, which we may have previously covered, but we're just going to cover again briefly, is the Format Painter button. I'm just going to highlight this text, make a couple of changes to it, to the rest. So you can see that this now looks different to the rest of the text in this paragraph. Let's say, for example, I wanted to make another word in this paragraph the exact same format as this. I could highlight it again, change the font, change it to bold, change the colour, or I could actually just copy that formatting and paste it elsewhere. I'm going to do this using the Format Painter button. Single clicking once will paste the formatting once, as you can see. If you double click, it will allow you to keep pasting that format until you turn it off by clicking back on that button. So that's another just little feature, just quite useful in Word to save you some time. So those are just a few features within Word that you can use in Word documents to save you time when you're creating them.